Hi everybody, thanks for joining us today. We're going to talk a little bit about yoga and essential oils. My name is Ed Daly and I'm a senior global educator with Young Living Essential Oils and I've been a long-time yoga teacher. And I'm joined today by my good friend Regina DeWitt, and she is the owner of Prana Yoga Sarasota, and that's where we are today to talk to you a little bit about how to combine your oils into your yoga practice. So many things come at us in life, and when we look at using essential oils in the yoga class or your personal home practice, one of the things I like to do is to look at concepts. First of all, whenever I'm practicing, I'm making sure that I've got my diffuser out and I'm diffusing essential oils in the yoga room before I even get started. Sometimes here, Regina, when she's teaching public classes, urban Zen classes or whatever, she's using her diffuser, diffusing essential oils as well. The first concept I want to talk about today is grounding. And we think about grounding, we think about standing poses. When I look at grounding oils, I look to oils such as frankincense, Idaho Balsam Fir, pine, many of your trees that are just has this amazing grounding aroma for us. So today, I'm going to take out some Idaho Balsam Fir, and Regina's going to stick out her left hand. And we're going to put a drop of the Idaho Balsam Fir, and this is just going to rub your hands together. Great way to start your practice, and then just taking about maybe 30 seconds of some nice deep inhalations and deep exhalations. And we're going to talk you through some sequences that you can utilize at home. So if you're watching the video, feel free to practice along with us today. So once Regina has started to let the oils percolate through her nostrils and in her brain, then we can start to go ahead and do some yoga practice. So first pose we're going to have Regina do, she's going to stand up and we're going to have her do triangle pose. So she's going to stand on the mat here and she's going to go ahead and step her feet wide. And when you're doing the poses at home, 30 to 60 seconds aside is usually a good idea. So she goes ahead and inhales her arm parallel to the ground, and then she can take her hand to her ankle or to her shin or to the ground. Now when you're thinking about grounding, I really want you to think about working the legs. So making sure that you're slightly pushing the feet away from each other, drawing the kneecaps up a little bit towards the pelvis, and really lengthening through the spine and reaching through the fingertips. She inhales, she comes up, she turns and reverses the feet, and then she goes ahead and does the other side. Again, the legs really have to work. This is what creates the grounding effect along with the essential oil. So she's really working on pressing that back outer heel into the ground, again, slightly pushing the feet away from each other. This really activates the legs. Good. Again, she holds it for about 30 seconds. Good. Inhales and comes up. Now the next pose we're going to do is called extended side angle pose. So she reverses the feet again. She goes ahead and she bends her knee, and then she takes her left elbow and sticks it right on top there. Notice how she's turned the palm up, everyone. This creates a nice external rotation in the upper arm bone of the left. And again, the legs are really working, the groins are soft, her feet are active, slight push away, and you can see the beautiful length of the spine that Regina gets here. Again, 30 to 60 seconds is really a good place to start for most people. If you're a little bit more advanced, you can hold the postures a little bit longer. And these poses in conjunction with the Idaho Balsam Fir are creating a beautiful grounding effect for Regina. We all suffer from a little bit of occasional stress, and these poses are a great, great antidote for that. Good. Next pose we're going to do is called Warrior Two. She turns that foot in again. Yeah, she turns this foot out all the way. And when you're doing these poses, making sure that you really have the foot turned out so that you don't hurt your knee at all. She goes ahead and bends the knee and makes a square. And she's, again, pushing the feet away from each other. She's lengthening up through the spine and then extending through the fingertips of the hands. As she bends that knee, really try to track it towards those fourth and fifth toes. Again, that helps to protect the knee. And again, you can see she's got this beautiful grounding effect with this back leg. In fact, most of the weight in the standing poses should be on the back leg, everyone. Be careful not to load that front hip too much. Good. This time what she's going to do is she's going to turn that back foot in at about 45 degrees. So she's going to turn this foot out 90 degrees. Good. And then she's going to take and face the front foot and put her hands on her hips. From here, she just inhales the arms up over the head. Again, she bends the knee and makes a square and comes into warrior one. This is also a little bit of a back bend, but more so, again, we're working on the grounding action. We are practicing at home. Again, the main thing, just keep those feet gently pushing away from each other. It has such an amazing effect on the legs. And with any kind of anxiousness or anger, we want to really work the legs so that we can get that energy moving downwards. The top of the buttocks here, all the way into the back outer heel. She's connecting the dots right back through here so that this back foot is the main anchor. Good, and then she inhales, comes up. Good, and then we're going to move into the next concept. Now we're going to talk a little bit about awakening. So many times when we're exhausted or we're feeling a little bit lethargic, we're not moving as well, again, I look towards back bending. Today, we're going to take an essential oil called Clarity. It's a great blend. Regina takes a drop of this, and again, just as we did in the first segment, she takes and rubs it together, takes some inhalations. Now, Clarity is a great blend of 10 essential oils. And if you don't know what they are, I'm going to ask you to do your homework and go ahead and find out what essential oils are in the Clarity blend. This is one of my favorites, but I also look to blends such as Brain Power. You can also use peppermint as well. Regina lies on her belly. We're going to do some simple back bends today. So she lies all the way down. Places the forehead on the ground, and then she's going to slide her hands almost to about a little mid-chest here. And then she's going to look forward slightly and begin to activate the legs. And from here, can she begin to straighten the arms somewhat? Straighten it. And you don't have to come all the way up, yes, but making the legs very active. Here, broadening the collarbones. And then she holds it for maybe 15, 20 seconds and then goes back down to the ground. You can repeat these postures as many times as you like. She pauses, she recollects herself, and then again she begins to press up. Make the legs very active. In back bending, we want the arms and legs to work evenly, and we want the spine to be soft and supple so that we're getting this movement. We're not overworking the spine in back bending. Again, she bends the elbows, she goes down. She collects herself again. She might even at some point go ahead and maybe bring one of her hands to her face and inhale the essential oil if she feels like she needs to. This is a great way, again, to re-engage yourself into the present moment by inhaling the oils. And then she'll go back and she'll do one more simple back bend. Now, if she's feeling like she wants to make it a little bit more active, she might even lift the pelvis off the ground, coming into an upward facing dog, one of the basic postures that we use in yoga. Good. And then she goes back down to her belly again. This time, we're going to have her bend her knees and grab her ankles. She's like, oh no, it's kind of early for this. And then from here, she's gonna come right up. She's gonna lift the torso up, and you can see she's trying to straighten the leg, but she's also trying to bend the leg as well. Again, a wonderful back bend. We have to be very aware not to jam the low spine. Beautiful. And then she releases and she comes back down. She can let go of the feet and the ankles. And we'll have her do one more. So whenever she's ready, she can bend again. These postures are so good, everyone, too. For those of you who sit in a chair at work all day, we sort of concave the spine a little bit. This motion counteracts that in everyday life. Good, and then we'll have her release. And then, just to counteract a little bit, we'll have her come onto all fours. And then we'll have her just take a downward facing dog. This helps to lengthen the spine, and sometimes it's very beneficial to do after a simple back bend so that she can, get a nice, beautiful length in the spine here. And then she comes down to her knees. I'm going to have Regina sit next to me here, and we'll show you, demonstrate together how easy it is to do even in the comfort of your own desk. So if you're seated on a chair at home or in your office, it's very simple. All you have to do is just inhale your arms up over your head. And then from here, press the feet into the ground a little bit, and then feel like you're lifting this part of your chest a little bit, and then looking up towards the ceiling any amount. And then lower the arms down. And you might do that 2 or 3 times, inhaling the arms up over the head, pressing the feet into the ground, looking up any amount, and lower the arms down. And one more. Inhale the arms up over the head. Beautiful. Exhale the arms down. You can do it a little bit differently. Interlace the fingers. Reverse the palms. Raise the arms up over the head here. And just wiggle out of the waist a little bit. Again, pressing the feet into the ground, making it a little bit active. Good, lifting the chest a little bit, any amount. Releasing the fingertips, taking the arms back down to the side. Okay, beautiful. So again, the back bending poses are great for awakening the spine and awakening your energy in your body as well. Now, when we talk about twists, I think about the body being receptive. So we're going to have Regina demonstrate some twists. One of the essential oils that I really love is peppermint. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab some peppermint here. And peppermint really has a very stimulating aroma, but and when I smell it, it makes my mind very receptive. Of course, always have some V6 by hand. You want to be very careful not to touch your face at all with the essential oils. If you do, never use water. Always use V6 or an olive oil or grapeseed oil. And you can take and just put that on a cloth or a napkin and go ahead and take it off if you manage to touch your face. So she inhales the peppermint oil, takes a couple of nice, and this really clears the mind for me and makes me very receptive here. So then Regina's going to go ahead and lie on her back. Now she's going to just draw the knees into her chest. And then from here she can take the arms up by the side. Yes, and then she's going to let the legs drop all the way over to the left. All the way over to the left. Now with twists, everyone, I want you to consider one thing. Many times people are twisting and the head is the first thing to move. The first thing that should move is the abdomen. So you're always twisting from the lower belly, the middle belly, the upper abdomen, the chest, and then the upper chest, and then the head and the neck. And then from here, Regina might look over her legs are going to the left. She's going to look to the right over her right hand. Yes. So the head and the neck are the last thing to receive the twist. The twist is never generated from here. Now we don't have much room here on the stage, but Regina will go ahead and come on over to the other side. She scoots over a little bit so she has a little bit of room, brings the knees into the chest again. The one thing that I love about twisting is that it helps to mimic peristaltic movement. I've been a nurse for almost 25 years. When you twist the abdomen, it condenses and contracts all the digestive and intestinal organs. And then when she comes back into a neutral pose, as she does here, and then places the feet on the ground, this brings the relaxation to the belly. And that's what peristalsis is, this contraction and relaxation of your digestive tract so that you can digest your food through the course of the day. Now she's going to cross the right leg over the left. She's going to scoot her buttocks to you guys a little bit. And then she's going to let the legs drop over to the left again. And again, she's generating the twist from the belly, and she's going from the bottom up, and then she looks over the right hand as the head and the neck are the last thing to receive the twist. She stays here for 30 to 60 seconds. She says, okay, I've had enough for today. I'm going to do the other side. She does the cross of the legs, does the opposite side, scoots the belly, the bottom this way, and then lets the legs drop over. Even in these poses here, we're trying to keep some energy into the legs, but keep the abdomen very soft. Beautiful. And then she comes out. Good. And then I'm going to have her roll to her right side and sit on up. And then she's going to extend her legs towards me. So from here, she can take her hands by her side And even if you're seated in a chair at home, Regina will do it on the floor, I'll do it just mimicked here. She's going to lift her chest by gently pressing the fingers into the ground. And then from here, she's going to begin to turn to her right. She's going to begin to turn to her right, almost as if this was 12 o'clock. She's now turning the belly towards 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. She keeps lifting the chest and keeping the legs very active. Good. She comes back to center. The contraction is now stopped in the belly, and she goes to the other side. Legs very active. She's spreading the toes. She's extending the toes. She's making the legs very active. She's lengthening the spine. And then she comes back to center. And then she releases. Now, one of the blends that I really love to utilize as well is Digise. So I will take Vitality Digise and take it internally, but I also can use Digise on my belly as well during the twisting practice. Again, what you want to be receptive is the abdomen. We never want to harden the abdomen at all. Now, forward bends, to me, when I think of forward bends, I think about moving inward. So there's so much stimulation, I think we all would agree, there's so much stimulation in the outside world that we get bombarded all the time. In fact, you go to some places like Tokyo or New York City or London, there's constant bombardment of your sense organs. And when we're experiencing that, it's good to move inward to help alleviate some of that. So we're going to have Regina demonstrate some standing forward bends here today. When I think about moving inward, I like several oils. Today we're going to have her utilize ylang ylang, grown on our farm down in Guayaquil in Ecuador. Great, sweet smelling essential oil, and it just draws my attention in my body. And Regina rubs it and again takes a few nice soft inhalations and nice soft exhalations. The floral scents for me really have the ability to draw my attention into my body. Once she's done that, she says, okay, that's good for now. I'm going to stand up and we're going to have Regina do a standing forward bend. So she's going to have her feet about hip width distance apart. Mm-hmm.
You want me to stand up first?
Yeah. And this is a good, sometimes people will teach it feet together. She just inhales her arms up over the head. She folds forward at the waist, almost like she's swan diving over a cliff. And if your hands don't go to the ground, you can place blocks underneath them. Sometimes people will grab the shins or the ankles or even the knees. The legs are working, and we're getting the spine to cascade. You can see that the head and the neck are very passive here. 30 to 60 seconds, always a great way. In this pose here, she can easily cup her hands to her face anytime she wants, and she can smell the ylang ylang again. Don't be afraid to utilize and use those oils in any way you want. Many times people will say, I'm trying to listen to my intuition to what oils I want to use for my practice. And don't be afraid to do that. The next pose we're going to have her demonstrate is a standing wide-angled forward bend. So Regina steps her feet wide again. She puts her hands on her waist, and when she's ready, she goes ahead and spills forward. We'll show you two variations with the hands here. First variation, she's going to place her hands on the ground, and her fingers should be in line with the toes. So she moves the hand back a little bit, and notice how she keeps the elbows close together. Then she bends the elbows, and then releases the head down. Now, forward bends are cooling poses. What does that mean? Cooling for the nervous system. So by placing the head below the physical heart, this has a very cooling action on the system, the nervous system itself. Again, legs are working very well. Okay, spine is soft, head is totally released. Again, if your head does not make it to the ground, which most people it doesn't, just place your head on the block. Some people even use a chair. Just work within your means. When she's had enough, she inhales, she comes up, and then she steps the feet together. Now the last one we're going to have her demonstrate is downward facing dog, but we're going to use the bolster. So I'm going to have Regina grab the bolster, and she's going to come onto all fours, and she's going to place the bolster in this fashion. Yeah, she comes onto all fours. And then we're going to use this for her to rest her head. So when she's ready, she comes into down dog again. And then just releases the head down. And the soft support of the bolster it touches the skin of the forehead. We move from this place all the time. Our frontal lobe is constantly thinking and firing. You can see the beautiful work of the legs. Again, the beautiful elongation of the spine and the head below the physical heart. Very, very important. Her arms are working very nicely. She's spreading the fingers, drawing the energy up so that it can help engage the spine. And again, if you're more advanced, you might even hold this posture for up to 3 to 4 minutes, depending on your ability. When she's had enough, she says, okay, I'm going to come down. Good. And then the last one we're going to have her demonstrate, which I love, is child's pose. So she widens her knees a little bit apart. She takes her bolster in, and then she just spills forward. Now, Regina's got very open knees, very open hips. Not everyone is able to do that. Sometimes if you have knee issues, you have to put some blankets behind the knees. But you can see her thoracic spine here is the highest point in this posture. You want to get it when you set it up so that this is the highest point. The restorative postures we're going to talk about in a little bit more, but this is a beautiful forward bend, and it's very restorative in nature. I personally love this pose for about 5 to 10 minutes. It really just regenerates my whole system, really gets me to move inward. Okay, and then she comes back out. Now, the restorative postures, lastly, when I think about a restorative pose, to me, restoration is the one thing that we're not doing enough of in this culture. Life is really a balance between rest and movement. And we're constantly on the move all day long, most of us. So getting the proper rest is really, really important. One of the best ways to do that is the restorative postures. Now, I'm going to have Regina take a blanket, and I'm going to have her demonstrate a restorative back bend. So we're going to roll it up, and then she's going to spin around, and she's going to place this directly over underneath her shoulder blades. And I'm going to have her keep her knees bent, feet flat on the floor. And she can put her arms wherever she's comfortable. You can see the beautiful opening of the chest. Again, this counteracts that hunching over that we chronically do on a daily basis, especially if you're working in a chair in an office setting. I flew about 250,000 miles last year with Young Living on an airplane, and I will tell you that the airplane seats are set up to not make your body do this, they make it do the opposite. This is really good as well if you're having some congestion in your lungs. Maybe you've got a little bit of a chest cold. This really opens up the lungs nicely. Also a great pose if your energy's feeling a little bit down. To me, great ways to do the yoga practice and get some restoration. And you can see Regina just keeps smelling the essential oils. By now they're all combined underneath on her hands. Okay, and when she's ready to come out, she rolls to her right side. Good, and she sits up. Let's show you a beautiful restorative posture for lower back pain. So let's do a supported Supta Konasana with the feet elevated. So what we're just going to do is we're going to put a blanket here, and she's going to put her soles of her feet on the block, elevated like this. Yes. And then she goes ahead and lays back. You can see that Regina doesn't have her chin sticking way up in the air. Just demonstrate the chin sticking way. Be very careful of that, everyone. That mimics a back bend action. That's sort of exciting to the nervous system. So Regina's going to make sure that the chin is tucking to the chest. Sometimes we have to support the head. This right here with the feet elevated mimics a forward bend a little bit. What it does for low back pain, it places the lower lumbar spine in a neutral position. Sometimes for me, sitting on a plane, like I said earlier, I might get a little bit of lower back pain. This is a great posture to help alleviate that. Again, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful restorative posture. When I think about oils for restoration, many come to mind. Peace and calming, valor, Obviously lavender. Sometimes I'm attracted to the oils such as lemon and orange. You know, whatever your intuition says to use that day, go ahead and play around and be able to, you know, experiment using your oils and applying them in the practice itself. Now we're going to let Regina get a little bit of restoration here. So just to wrap up, again, we talked about grounding in standing poses. We talked about awakening in back bends. We talked about receptivity with our twists. We talked about moving inward with forward bending. And we talked about restoration and using restorative poses. You know, we just completed our first balanced yoga and wellness retreat last month in Lehi, Utah. Had 75 people come. We're going to be doing some more of these events in the upcoming 2017. We're teaching people how to utilize Young Living essential oils in their yoga practice and how they can augment and help support your yoga practice. So thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that this session has been helpful for you. Feel free to utilize this session at any time, and have a great day and enjoy your Young Living essential oils. Thanks, everybody.